Hi there, good evening everyone. Today's reading is going to be Who Has Fallen in Love with You. While I was washing up today, I had a memory of a girl who, I'm going to say took my breath away, but that sounds very exciting. It was a girl who I think I fell slightly in love with, to be honest. I was at a party, it was years and years ago in Vancouver with a friend, and it was in an attic, not like this creepy attic, it was a massive attic, and there was some people playing. Not it was like, like on decks, on decks, rather than like a band type of thing. And this girl came in and she danced her own dance. It was something like Papa's Got a Brand New Pig Bag song, but not. But it was something like that with trumpets. I don't know what it was. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, she had this most fantastic freestyling way of dancing that I think I can still remember to this day. And then she finished her dance. Not many people on the dance floor and walked off. And I thought, hi, who was that? So I was going to do this reading today just to see if anybody looks at you or has looked at you in that way that I felt, where you think or they think, who on earth is that? You have got 3 piles as usual. You have got the seashell number 1, you have got Prince Charles number 2, and you have got mad looking cat for number 3. So if you want to take your choice, then we'll get going and see if we can dig a little bit deeper. Okay. Right, I think this person that may have looked at you in the way that I looked at that girl and had those feelings could possibly had seen you in a group situation. There's a feeling here of them looking at you and staring at you, and it feels like they don't know what to do initially, and then they make a move. There's a feeling here of somebody. You've got the Fool, you've got the 8 of Swords here. There's somebody who, the 8 of Swords is the bear underneath the water, the polar bear underneath the water, feeling some anxiety and looking and trying almost to break out of the water. The Fool card here has the person circled by sharks. So I wonder if they've seen you in a group situation and felt with the 8 of Swords some anxiety, wanted to make a move towards you, wanted to come and talk to you, but just ended here looking at you. The Knight of Pentacles is the Knight of Pentacles, doesn't do anything flashy, but with this card here, I don't know if you can see these cards actually. Let me just try and turn them around a bit for you. Is just looking. Straightforward looking. The 3 of Wands here makes me think of a group situation because they're all tied together, rather than that normal Rider-Waite where you're actually looking outwards. But I suppose you are. But I still think group situation. There's some anxiety here. There's some reason they haven't come forward initially. And I don't know whether it's to do. I wonder with the High Priestess here whether they're quite shy or quite withdrawn in some way, and it makes me feel like they've got their stability, they're doing something in particular, they maybe even sat down at a table. The 4 of Wands is making me think of this sounds ridiculous, of chairs, of tables, of buildings, of somebody being content, sitting there, not wanting to get outside their comfort zone, watching and not really having, I'm going to say, the bravery to talk to you. Somebody's just watching from a distance and thinking if they do actually stand up, come towards you, then it feels a little bit uncomfortable. So it could very much be a bar situation or a club situation, something where they're sat still, sat down and watching. I was going to say car there, but I don't think car. I don't think it's like a vehicle, because I would have the chariot or something. The 4 of Wands is something stable. There's a chair, there's a table, there's a house, a bar stool. Doesn't really matter, but they're keeping their feelings secret. There's just lots and lots of what I would say looking and staring. Let me put those there. Okay, it's nice. You've got the view of you. You've got the Judgment. You've got the Star. You've got the Lovers. Now, these are all major arcana. These are like big cards. The Judgment card here, with regards to how they view you, makes it is honestly like a like a tornado. The reason I say tornado has got something to do with some really stupid video I was watching. They were interviewing some man who'd seen a car crash, and he was very dramatic, and he was going, "It was like a tornado." Anyway, it keeps coming into my mind. But this, honestly, the Judgment card and these major arcana, you have almost come in like a tornado. The Star card there is like wish come true to me. Hopes and wishes, normally 11th house. The Star card, I know what I'm thinking. I'm not going to say it. Just something to do with the past reading, where I was doing a reading and I didn't say the internet, and the actual answer was, if there was an answer, was part of the internet. I didn't say it, so I can't really see how that comes into this. But the Lovers card, to me, karma, wish come true, the Lovers. That's their view of you. So you honestly, I don't think I'm being too dramatic in saying that you've taken their breath away. It's like that type of image you have, like your ideal person, you don't think you see them, and then they walk in on you. It's that feeling when your stomach doesn't give way. That's not going to be pretty. Your stomach drops. Your stomach drops because it's just like, it's almost in that moment you feel like you are in both worlds at once. Very much that feeling of, you can't explain it, can you? It is honestly by it's like the Temperance card. That's the first time I think I've actually understood the Temperance card. You feel like you've got your feet in both worlds. You feel like something you've dreamt about, something you've known. This is them, and then you've walked in, or you've been there, and they've been stable. They've been standing there, and it's like, wow, it is just something different. With the High Priestess card here, and the Eight of Swords, I wonder whether that's causing some anxiety, something to do with, you can't explain, it's difficult to you. I think I could explain it because you're probably watching this channel and you probably have an understanding of things that are tumbling towards you, because I don't think you'd be looking at this type of thing anyway. But I don't know about your person, and that's where it feels strange. I'm trying to think of people that I know who have this, who don't really think in that way but have this feeling. I'm thinking my older brother. He's quite fixed in some way what he wants to do, but he's quite open to new possibilities in other ways. He's very interested in spiritualism. He's anything that takes him outside of his own head, really, if you know what I mean. So he could take this on, but wouldn't really understand it. He would recognise it. He'd talk about it. That it was almost like time stood still, but he wouldn't have the same sort of feeling. Sorry, I can't explain that very well. Let's have a little look a bit further. Sorry, bear with me. It takes me about an hour to get a pack of cards in my hands because I'm not in my normal spot. There's a mixed feeling here of what I would guess here with the Justice card, of trying to understand what's going on. The Wheel card very much goes with the Judgment card, a real karmic feeling. It has a big impact on them. But the Page of Swords makes me think with the High Priestess here that they want to find out more about you. It's almost like they want to send their minions out to get some information on you. And with the Fool card here, I'm wondering whether they're too... The Eight of Swords there with the Fool card makes me think that they're too timid to do it themselves in some way. It's almost as, with this in the middle, the Four of Wands in the middle, it's like, I'm stable, I'm here, this person's coming in on me, and I'm like, wow. And that's a big effect. To have those major arcana in the centre, to me, feels big. It feels like you've had a big effect on them. And what they're trying to do is understand it. And the Wheel of Fortune here is recognition of you feeling different from most people that they come into contact with. The Page of Swords with the High Priestess, though, is just, to me, trying to gather information. It feels like this is the type of person who may have tried to look you up online afterwards, find out your name. I don't mean in a creepy way, but in just asking friends, who was that? Who was that? That type of thing. Right. I think that you probably know this. You probably recognise the effect that you had on this person, and then the Nine of Swords, the Emperor, and the Seven of Wands. It makes me think that they almost immediately retracted and thought, I don't know this person. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I'm not going to show too much until I feel, probably with this card here underneath the King of Pentacles, underneath the Four of Wands being in the centre. It's almost like this person wants to regain their sensibilities in some way. It's a strange pile, this one, because you've got a karmic feel. You've got almost like somebody who recognises you from, I'm going to say, another world. Just that feeling when you meet somebody and it feels familiar, even if it's just the way they look. And then it feels as if they've almost retracted into themselves and thought, well, actually, I'm silly. Somebody who doesn't trust their intuition, doesn't trust their senses, and has very much thought, let me just sort myself out here because I don't want to make a fool of myself. The Judgment, the Star, and the Lovers is lovely to have in the middle of here. Right, let me just go on to your next bit. Do you know, this is, I'm going to say this is really strange. These are your last three cards, which basically in my head, I should be saying what are their intentions, but to be honest, what I'm saying, what they're going to do about it. You've got the Prince of Cups with the man-child, looks quite young, holding, and that makes me think the prince is like innocence and youth, so it's quite a romantic air about it, holding the heart close to their head. This person is thinking about you, daydreaming about you, fantasizing about you. The Tower card here is, I think with these cards here, there's no other way around it. With the Judgment and the Star and the Lovers, you've had a huge impact on them, and it's got something, makes me think this person thinks a lot about you in a very romantic sense, but almost in a sense like they feel uncomfortable with it because it's like they understand it, but they don't want to understand it. It's difficult to explain, I would say, but there's a real sense of nurturing with regards to their view of you. I don't know whether you look as if you're the type of man or woman that has like a soft look about them. I'm getting an image here of either you being small, then being tall, with the Queen of Cups here. You being very, I'm going to say parental there. You look like a, oh, that sounds awful. I'm having this image of just somebody. This is really difficult to explain. I'm having this image, like men just look like you want to have babies with them. Some men just have that look about them, and some women just look like they could have good babies. It's all your hormones. It's all in your hormones. I'm not explaining myself. It is all in your hormones, but it's something about the way that you looked like everything was hormonally on par. I'll just leave it like that because I don't really know how to put it into words. But when you just look good, that's when your hair actually falls all right. The clothes you're wearing actually just fit nice, feel nice, move nice. Your makeup looks good. If you're a man, everything just fits together. You're feeling good about yourself. Your body weight is exactly where you want it to be. You just look good. Sometimes body weight can be an issue with some people. And whether you're too slim, it doesn't really matter. but sometimes you know what makes you feel good, and I'm wondering whether you just felt good and this person recognised it. Well, that was a stumbly way to say it, wasn't it? Okay, so let me just slowly go through this. I'm just wondering at the moment, somebody left a comment saying your readings are quite short, and I suppose I'm afraid of boring everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it slowly, again, just to see what I can pick up, and see if I can see something else in it. Bear with me a minute. Just whistle to yourself. Okay, I think that you possibly have come across this person, or more so this person has come across you in a group situation. It's almost like they've locked eyes immediately on you, even if you haven't actually locked them back. The Eight of Swords here makes me think that there's some anxiety, but it's almost like such a direct impact that you've had on them that they feel as if they're showing their emotions on their face, or they're showing their feelings on their face, and what they're trying to regain is stability here. There's got a feeling of possible shyness here. The Eight of Swords and the High Priestess make me think of somebody who may be quite nervous, or maybe nervous just in with regards to love interest. They may come across as being very sort of solid with the Knight of Pentacles here, very sort of measured, but the High Priestess and the Eight of Swords make me feel somebody possibly could be a little bit tentative with regards to expressing their emotions. May like to feel on a more secure ground with the Four of Wands first. Now, the impact you've had on them, to me, is fantastic, because you've got the Star here, the Lovers, and the Judgment card. The Judgment card makes me think of karma. As I've said before, the Star card is almost as if you could actually write down your wish list for somebody you'd like to come into your life, you would have been on it. The Lovers card there basically says the same thing. You know, they're big cards to have on what impact you've had on this person. It's once again, there's the Justice card here being underneath the Four of Wands. You've got that balance feeling. This person is almost as if you've made them slightly nervous, and they're trying to almost center themselves. And that feeling I got of chairs and tables and buildings, they've done something in the environment, I think, to make themselves feel a little calmer. They've sat down somewhere, or got up, or walked. And I think the fact that this is coming through quite strongly, I wonder whether you've noticed the way that they've moved, or the way that you have moved them. They want to know more about you. They've got this you've had a strong impact on them. I think you possibly have left this meeting or left this get together thinking, and they're not interested. Because the Emperor card here makes me think of control. The Nine of Swords here, with regards to the way that they've left the situation, is, I'm guessing both of you feeling like, well, I didn't say anything, we didn't make that much contact. You know, there was quite a bit of defensiveness there, especially with this Fool card, with the sharks. You know, I felt as if I was out of my depth with the Eight of Swords, and I should have perhaps done something about it. And what they're doing since then is the Tower. This very much goes with the Judgment, the Star and Lovers here, that the impact that you've made on them has turned them into what I would say a romantic dreamer. And I don't know what this Queen of Cups is here, but it makes me feel that there's a feeling of wanting to nurture you, or recognising your beauty. I'm going to leave it there, because I was about to say something really rude, crude. Just something that didn't need to be said. But it's just that feeling of finding you attractive in a very nurturing way. You know, when somebody just looks good, you can't explain it, can you? You know, they don't have to be good looking. You know, a man walks in on you, or a woman walks in on you, and you could just see they've got something about them. The Queen of Cups here, is making me think that it's just that somebody who looks like everything is balanced and beautiful and perfect. You don't have to be a great beauty. It's just the way that you move. It's just the way that your clothes flow. It's just the way that you talk. You could be anything. You know, beauty's such a particular thing, isn't it? You've really hit this person's gong. Won't make that up. You really have. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 1. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for sharing time with me. Bye. Okay, let's find out who's fallen for you, or fallen in love with you. my first thought here, you may know this person because you may have worked with them and they may have moved out of a work situation. The Hierophant there and the Five of Cups is a situation where they've left, I'm guessing here, or emotionally moved on, and you are in some sort of traditional relationship with them. It could be a church group, it could be school friends, it could be a marriage, it could be something that's quite traditional, quite Hierophant. This makes me think of the 12th house when I'm talking about situations like hospitals or buildings or something managerial or something, town hall, town council, that type of thing. And the group situation here, the Three of Wands. So you know this person because in some way or some shape or form, they were in some sort of what I would say measured environment with you where there were lots of people involved, and now they're not, and now they've moved on. Some sort of group where everybody played their role, they came in, did their job, and one walked out. That type of feeling where everybody had a certain role and they did it, nothing was allowed out of that role. It's not a case if you can't like go and see your bank manager and start winking across the counter. It's that type of feeling where you know them and it's been straight and you've been in a group situation and then it's separated. This person may have moved on. You may have moved on and left them behind. I don't really know, but that's the feeling I'm getting. So let's have a look at this one's. Okay, your interaction with them to me makes me feel that there's a recognition of there being something outside of a normal situation, but you're still playing the game. The Two of Pentacles there is almost like exchanging conversations, very polite conversations, doing the routine thing. You're going in, paying your check, winking over the counter, that type of thing. The Two of Pentacles could be like, I don't know, something that you're not meant to do, something that is outside of that normal, say remit, I can't think of the correct word. And the Eight of Swords there makes me think you've done it. Makes me think you've done that certain something, or they've done that certain something. I think they've done something. They've possibly done something that has made them feel slightly uncomfortable because it's not really, it feels like something small. The Two of Pentacles is two ants on that Mobius, I don't know how to say it, strip, and they're going round and round. So it's a situation that's normally repeated, very small. The Wheel of Fortune makes me think that they feel lucky that you keep coming in on them. I'm getting bad images there. And the Eight of Swords there is they've done something that has made them feel quite anxious. It feels like they have, I'm trying to think of scenarios in my head. You know, when you go into a shop and if somebody likes you, I don't know, I've never been in this situation myself. You go into a shop, somebody likes you and they're over helpful. It makes me think that they've done something and thought, oh God, he or she must think I'm a complete fool. It's that type of feeling, because the Eight of Swords is anxiety under the Three of Wands there makes me think of a group situation. That Three of Wands doesn't make me feel like looking out and wanting to stretch out further. It makes me think, because they're all tied together. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Something very mundane where they've slipped up. They have slipped up. Or they've done something they thought, God, what have I just done? I can't think of different scenarios there. Okay, let's go to the next one. Their view of you is almost like a feeling of getting on really well with you. You're really easy to talk to. You possibly come across this person quite a lot and you just kick it off. It's just excitement, it's communication. It's when they leave you, you make them feel really excited. It possibly, there could be other people involved. This keeps coming up in this reading as if there's always somebody watching. There's always somebody close to you, listening to you, and so you're trying, both of you are trying not to say anything that may sound a little bit more friendly than just normal. The Tower card here, under this Eight of Swords here, which I said earlier, in a group situation, they feel that they've not just made themselves feel anxious with regards to something that they've done, and I'm assuming it's revealing their feelings there because there's somebody doing a lot of talking. But the Tower card underneath the Eight of Swords is anxiety with what I would guess a deep impact. Is that a film? Deep impact. Another reason for the Eight of Swords and the Tower could possibly be that both of you get on so well. This is how you will know this person. Both of you get on so well and talk so freely that it feels almost uncomfortable to them because they wonder whether that you can see their attraction in some way towards you. Another scenario possibly could be that after what I would say, quite with the Eight of Wands over here with the Two of Pentacles, is like a mundane situation with very good communication. So I'm wondering as well whether their affection for you has grown over time with repeated communication. And the Tower card is almost like, it could actually be building up, and it could almost feel like, where am I going to go with this now? What am I going to do with it now? Don't know. 3 different scenarios there, but I am getting a really strong feeling that you have come across this person in work or a very traditional situation and they're not there anymore. It's like a repeated situation where they've moved on from. And the Eight of Wands there is you just got on well, and the Tower card is one of you's feeling a bit shocked by the separation, I'm assuming, or it feels like it's blown your world apart in some way. And it's affected this person in, I'm guessing, in some deep way. It makes me feel that this person is finding it difficult with regards to the fact that you were always there. You were always there. There was always polite conversation, and now you're not. And there's like some feeling of anxiety. Okay, let me keep moving. Something about what I would guess with the Eight of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, which I keep talking about here, how they view you. You've got the Temperance and the Moon card there. There's something very smooth and very sort of sweet and measured and even tempered and easygoing. And the Ten of Cups and the Moon makes me think of what I'm guessing a more emotional connection, almost like the Six of Cups here is making me feel like there's some connection there that you feel like they've known you for a long time. The Ten of Cups I'd want to interpret as in, like, you could say seeing you as an ideal family partner, but there's not enough in the rest of the pack for me to say that. And with the Temperance card and the Moon card, and what I'm saying, easy communication here, or just feeling like, you just feel right to them. The Temperance card is smoothness to me. It's familiarity. The Moon card is almost not understanding why they feel like that. It's the Moon and Temperance. To me it feels like not really being able to understand why they feel what they do, which I wonder here with the Tower card whether that is the more likely scenario, where there's been a repeated situation, then you've moved apart and it's really hit this person that how attracted they are to you at a later date. And then the Temperance and the Moon card here, It feels like love that's lost to me now. And it actually, I suppose, so from the beginning. The person that's fallen for you almost feels like they had you there, didn't make the most of you, and then it's love that's lost. That's the feeling I'm getting. Because there's good communication, repeated communication, smoothness, understanding, connection. But you've got the Tower there under what I would say quite an anxious group situation. And it does feel like this person hasn't let their feelings flow, a bit like pile number 1. Right, okay. Hi, sorry, they're the SD cards for. What they're going to do about it looks like a mixture of it feels like a tentative approach that actually does turn into something, because you've got the 7 of Cups under the Moon, which to me is like a creative imagination that doesn't go anywhere, but there's a lot of thinking, possibly a lot of fantasizing, a lot of trying to understand what they're going to do, what path are they going to take. Then the King of Wands and the Lovers to me is like a romantic conqueror. It really does honestly feel like that. Somebody who actually decides which path they want to take, how they're going to get to you, and actually does something about it. Out of all the cards here, possibly the King of Wands is the one that's most likely to do something they feel might be slightly out of their reach. A situation where they have, I'm guessing here, a feeling of kept too quiet and not done enough for too long. Somebody they've gelled with really easily, got on with really well, it's gone very smoothly, and then they've left. And then they've left and thought, why on earth did I do that? And it's an after effect here. It's almost like a ricochet effect of the way that you were. To me, it makes me feel that you don't make many demands. And if he or she's coming across as the King of Wands, that may be something that they find attractive. You know, it's also got that feeling that they possibly could have had partners in between you, or have a partner now, and it's not until afterwards that they've thought you were the one. With the King of Wands here is somebody who is quite busy doing what they want to do, possibly left work, left a situation that they saw you quite often, possibly, or were in contact with you. Makes me think King of Wands don't hang about. You know, if they come out of a relationship, somebody with a bit of fire, then they go into the next one pretty quickly. They move on quite easily. But then it's like you've had with the Moon card there, the Tower card there, an anxiety card in a group situation. It feels like you've almost played on their mind over and over again. And the 7 of Cups feels like fantasy. It's like, you know, do I choose this person I'm with? Doesn't quite measure up to the one that I let go. And the King of Wands and the Lovers, romantic conqueror. That's what I'm thinking there. Let me put a few more cards on. See, their next steps, you have got the 7 of Cups again, which is a lot of fantasizing, but you've got the Sun and the Page of Cups. To me, makes me feel of somebody who's very open and makes a small emotional plea to you in some way, and actually almost confesses their feelings. And the Sun is honesty, it's openness. It's like, do you know, I really fancied you when we were together. Why didn't we do something about it? Or, you know, when we were together, I've been out with this person after you, or I'm with this person. They don't feel the same with this person. So this is a person who has fallen for you, I think, is either with somebody else now, or you have been together and moved apart and there's regret there. But I do think here you have got a lot of wanting to know what to do, but then it's almost slapped in between bigger cards that say they're almost going to take the brave decision and actually confess in some way. And confess is probably the right word. In a small way, in a, you know, I really like you. That may be it. But Page of Cups is not a, you know, is not a big one, but the Sun is honest. I like you because I felt like you were the one, because of something to do with communication here. The draw has something to do with familiarity, and with ease of contact. But it's more than that, because it's this person. The distance here, to me, possibly could speak of, you know, when you're away from somebody and you almost like hump them up into be absolutely like Mr. Fantastic or Mrs. Fantastic. This is what this person's done with you. They may have been very sort of easygoing when you knew them or when you spent more time with them. It makes me feel like two buddies that sit together and chat. And then afterwards there's been some sort of split, and that's when it's hit them. Okay, I'm going to stop talking there. I might just sum it up actually. Okay, I think that the person that's fallen in love for you has met you in a very sort of, I'm going to say mundane situation. It could be, you know, a repeated situation that they do every day, a work situation. There's groups of people there. You've got on very well. I think you've got to the point of actually chatting. This person feels that they're lucky to have you in their life. And then I think that you may have probably separated. And this man or woman has looked back at your time together and felt, I didn't really get on with anybody after you as well as I did with you. And I think after a lot of daydreaming, a lot of musing around in their own head, they're going to come back to you and actually confess in a very small way, like, you know, I really fancied you, or we got on really well, let's get back together again, let's do something together again. And then with the moon card here and the tower and this anxiety card, that's their way in of getting closer to you, I think, because there's more feelings behind that small offer. They're going, no, don't take it like that. That small offer, which is going to be very clear and open and honest. I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. Thank you for spending time with me. Bye. Hi, crazy cat. Pile number 3, are you a Virgo? If you chose Crazy Cat, let me know if you're a Virgo. Okay, let's go. Let's see who's fallen for you. Okay, the person that has fallen in love with you, or which sounds a bit dramatic, but has in some way been extremely attracted to you, does that sound better? Is somebody who's quiet but brave. That sounds really ridiculous, but you know those kids that you knew when you were in school with that didn't say much, but they were really, I'm going to say naughty then, but stretch themselves out their comfort zone in a very sort of volatile way. Yeah, the ones that got into trouble with the teachers because they didn't speak much, and they gave off this aura of, well, I'm guessing, a rebelliousness or a defiance in some way. As they've grown older, this is the type of person. I'm thinking of actors. I'm thinking of who's the guy out of the played the Joker, and he was a cowboy with Jake Gyllenhaal. That guy. Somebody very quiet, very sweet, but looks as if they've got an edge, that they could do something. Well, he did, didn't he? Do something that is I can't. After I've just said, it's quite difficult to say that, but somebody who's brave. Somebody who is brave but reserved. Let me just see how you may know this person. The Hermit and the Fool makes me think of Uranus, Virgo, and the shadow self is like a Scorpio. So I'm thinking introverted, but not shy. Just doesn't say anything if they don't want to say anything, and when they do say something, it's normally short and to the point. That's her brother, where art thou, isn't it? not afraid to stick their neck out if need. It's somebody who's brave. It's somebody who's not afraid to stick their neck out if they need to fight for something. It's somebody who is not afraid to stick up for a friend. It's somebody who's not afraid of life, but somebody who feels like they don't have to shout about it. So this person is actually sounding quite attractive to me. Okay, I wonder whether you know this person, whether they've made you some sort of offer. And there's been lots of people around, or there's no, doesn't make me think of lots of people around. It makes me feel like this could go either way, because with the personality that I'm picking up, whether you've made some sort of offer towards, and the Page of Cups doesn't have to be like a romantic offer, like you've said, do you want to sit here, or do you fancy doing this, or I'm thinking it's you that's made the move and then they've sort of clammed up. It's got this feeling possibly of, there's a feeling here of low self-confidence, but that's hidden behind what I would say a austere appearance in some way, or what may come across as arrogant. This person may come across as arrogant but isn't. It has an Aquarius feel, and Aquarius often get, people think they're aloof. And you have got the Fool there and the Hermit there and aloof, because with Hermit makes me think, especially with that Aquarius bend, that they may think that they know it all. I mean, Aquarius is, I know. And you may have offered them something and almost thought, I guess it's something rude then. Well, sod them sort of thing. Why they've just been rude, or they weren't very forthcoming, and you may have tried to test the waters, may have looked their way, see if they're looking at you, and they've just looked cold as ice. I know people like this, so many people like this. A lot of what I'm guessing Uranus or Aquarius there, where they come across as being they're very good at being very formal. They, and often in case of person I'm thinking of dresses really formally, really kind but cool. And it feels like you've almost tried to test them and think that perhaps it's just the way that they are, and you've still got that sort of reserved edge, and you thought, actually, no, they don't like me. So I wonder whether you do know this person in some way. Let's get a little bit more about. Okay, you've got the Four of Pentacles twice. You've got the Hierophant here. You've got the Five of Wands. The Hierophant is probably the bigger card here, so it makes me think of tradition. This person is like, could be Capricorn, Aquarius, where they're quite just cool-natured anyway. The Five of Wands makes me feel that they almost have a prickly feel about them, that you can't get that close. And with the Four of Pentacles here, it makes me think this is your communication, or this is how you know them. It makes me think that they put up barriers in some way. There's offers made, but they just like to keep people at a distance until they're sure. And the shadow self there, it has that Scorpio feeling, and then you've got this looking and waiting. The Page of Cups are emotions that are trying to be given, but there's lots of watching and waiting. This person has fallen for you because they can see who you are, and you've got the Page of Cups there as a feeling of softness, but they have a feeling of, I only reveal myself to the few. That really doesn't feel like that. So this person's fallen in love with you because you are, I'm guessing, more naive, more childlike, more innocent than them. And they're coming across as prickly until they're ready, in their own time as well. Right, let's have a look. Oh my gosh, okay. So their view of you, you've got what I would say they're coming across as quite spiky, icy cards here. somebody that is probably very good in social situations, very good with their manners, stands very well, looks good, but you're always wondering what they're feeling and are they feeling anything. It has a bit of a Dr. Spock feel about it. Then you've got that slap with the Page of Cups here, which brings in some emotion, and then you've got this power with what they think about you. Why have they been drawn to you? You've got the Kings of Cups, and the Magician here is everything that you have at your fingertips, the way that you communicate with people, the way that you come across, the way that you hold yourself, the way that you present yourself, everything that they know about you that they've actually sussed out from friends or family, everything that is just tumbled into what I would guess. That this feels a strange one as well. Hold on. Oh my God, my family's in. They've just come off the beach. Being the person that they want to be.
Lindsay?
Sorry about that. My family came in. There's dolphins jumping out the sea and flipping on their backs, and the seals have been chasing me. It's like all, very. It's true, but it's very dramatic. I was just saying that most of these cards here come from what I'm guessing. The person that is attracted to you is quite reserved, and you've come across as being having the world at your fingertips. With the Magician card here, I was about to say the King of Cups here is somebody who is emotionally open and very in charge of their emotions. It feels like that you are. It makes me feel like my daughter said that when her English teacher left school, and my daughter is honestly not the type of person who's easy to hug. It's honestly it's like hugging stick man. And the English teacher was like giving her all these she loved every second of it, these big hugs. You appear like the English teacher that is very open, very warm, and very good at communicating with people, and people are drawn towards them. It's almost as if what you put your hand to, you can do it. The Five of Pentacles here, I'm guessing because you've got the Page of Cups up here, is making me think there's something like very sort of sweetly naive and quite vulnerable about you. And that, with this card up here, which is the Shadow Self, is what they've honed in on. It's got a Scorpio, Pluto, very small Scorpio, Pluto feeling of that they could... I don't know, they liked it. They liked it. There's something about 99% warmth, 99% openness, but with a slight vulnerability, something quite sweet about you. And that probably, they've admired the openness, they've admired your ability to communicate with people, but it's that 1% that has made them fall for you. It's that 1% of vulnerability amongst these things that they want. They want to actually be themselves, and then this is the one they want for themselves, if you know what I mean. That 1% is the one they want for themselves, which has what I'm guessing more of a personal sexual feel about it. The other one is like, how come you're so beautiful? And the other bit is like, I want it. Is what I'm thinking there. Wow. What are they going to do about it? You've got Death, you've got the Three of Cups and the Devil. Now, I get the Three of Cups and the Devil because that is like celebration, party, getting together, group situation, fun, with lots of sex afterwards. But then the Death, I don't know. So it's the ending of something. And I don't know whether it's the ending of the way that they view themselves, because that's what feels strong to me in this spread. The way that they view themselves and the way that they view you. They view themselves as not being able to reveal anything. They view you as being the perfect revealer. And I need some more cards on that to make it clearer to me. It's the end of anxiety. It's the end of anxiety. Oh man, why is that exciting to me? Sex. The end of anxiety. There's something in your personal makeup that this person really clicks with because you make them feel like something else. That's why they've fallen in love with you. The way that you conduct yourself is who they want to be, and I've said this just before, and the way that you show up, the way that you have that slight edge of vulnerability about you is the bit that gets them going. The Devil card there is the bit that attracts them sexually towards you, and there's got something to do with they don't feel like they measure up to you, and they've fallen for you. It's, do you know when we have like tarot readings, and it's a case of, I always think you do readings, and a lot of men and women, not a lot, well, I don't know at all, to be honest, whether some men and women come to readings thinking, you know, do they like me, do I measure up in some way? Because I don't know if this is true. This is the other way around. This is somebody who's not sure whether they measure up for you, measure up to you or for you. But a strong attraction from somebody who's quite silent in their approval. Approval is a sort of honed down word there, in their admiration, and that is probably the correct word, admiration. Is it getting dark in here? Let me do my last line here. Didn't mean it like that. You know, it feels like they make some sort of move towards you and then almost pull back again. This person's nature is not very open. This person likes to watch, and this person has, but I would say, an intense love nature once they feel comfortable. They think that you can do anything you want. They're not sure whether they fit into your life. So this is somebody who admires, I'm guessing from afar, somebody who's got a very strong sense of self-protection. But there's a strong sexual pull, in, more so in this pile than the other three piles. But it has, from their point of view, some anxiety about it. So this is the person that's fallen for you, has some anxiety about it. And it's almost, could be difficult to get this relationship going. It's like it starts and then it explodes, and then it's almost like I'm going to have to pull back because I've made myself uncomfortable. I wonder whether they think that you are invulnerable. Is that a word? Invulnerable in some way, because you come across as being more confident than them with you know, an innate confidence, and they've got the Five of Pentacles at the end, and there's something about you that has the Five of Pentacles, which to me speaks of, it could be positive. You could both feel like slight outsiders in some way. It doesn't have to be underconfidence. You may share some sort of like history or some sort of, I'm going to say childhood trauma. I don't mean that. I meant some sort of, there's something that they smell in you that feels familiar, but in a very vulnerable way. This is quite a mixed pack here. Really sort of what I would, a complicated person. It's like somebody who likes mysteries, who likes life to be complicated because they like to dig deep. It's that Scorpio feeling of liking to dig. I mean, you have, after all, got the Hierophant, and you have got what I'm guessing here, the Shadow Self, makes me think of Scorpio. You know, both of those together like to understand life. So this person, I'm guessing, does a lot of thinking, a lot of musing, and has seen you. You've come into their life, and they've thought, you know, who is that? They've got it sussed. I wonder whether you do a lot more giving and a lot more, oh, thunder, a lot more with your life than they, not with your life, but you put things into action, whether they do a lot of thinking. It has a very Scorpio feel of somebody that wants to almost shoot out lasers from their eyes and make the world change, where you're like, you know, for God's sake, just get on with it, just get stuck in. So I don't know if this rings true, whether, you know, this person who has fallen for you, this is why they've fallen for you, because you appear to be the things that they haven't got rolling. and there's a really strong sexual pull, and it has something to do with either one of two things. I'm going to finish in a minute. One of two things, either your vulnerability and them recognizing in themselves with a shadow self, or possibly you're both outsiders in some way. You both don't fit into what is seen as the norm for that society. Well done. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that makes sense. I hope it's not too dark as well, because it is getting dark. And I'll see you again. Thank you. I shouted then. Thank you. Bye. Hi everyone, before I go, I've actually finished the readings, but I always forget to say, if you like the readings, if you're interested in more readings, please join me on Patreon. I've been there for about a month now, so I'm actually beginning to get the hang of it. There's, what have I got on there? Exclusive readings. I have exclusive readings. I got YouTube early releases. There's going to be a type of love letter, which is like a written sort of get together. There are free reading offers. What else is there? I don't know. Go and check it out. I can't remember, to be honest, but it'd be lovely to see you. Thank you. Bye.